Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Tyra. Today I am bringing you this flawless, gorgeous, soft glam look with just like a pop of glitter that I did on one of my clients. So if you'd like to see how I achieved this look, just keep on watching. So the first thing I'm doing is just moving her hair out of her face, and then I'm going to go in with some witch hazel on a cotton pad and just wipe down her face just to make sure there's no dirts or oils or anything like that in her pores or just on her skin in general. You want to always make sure you're starting with a clean base before you start to apply any product to your client's face. First thing I'm going to do is go in with some Pond's Face Moisturizer, and I'm just going to use this just to hydrate my client's skin before I prime her skin and begin to apply any other makeup. Now to prep my client's face, I'm going to go in with the Bobbi Brown face cream. You can find this in, I believe, Sephora and Ulta. I'm not sure about Ulta, but I'm pretty sure it's in Sephora. I love to use this face cream as a primer because it leaves the skin or the face at the end looking very skin-like, and it makes it look very glowy and very hydrating. First thing I'm going to do is the brows, and I like to first set the brows using this translucent powder from Dermablend, and I like to use this just to take away any oils or anything like that on the brow, and it helps them be more bold, and it also helps the pencil not to like slip while you're outlining and filling in the brows. To fill in her brows, I'm going to use the Absolute New York Slim Eyebrow Pencils in the shade Espresso Benelitis and Smoke Benedarkest. I like to use smoke at the tail, well, majority of the brow. I like to use smoke just because it makes it more like, it makes it pop more once you go to conceal, and I like to keep it more natural in the front. That's why I use a lighter color such as espresso. And you don't need these pencils to use this technique. You can honestly use any eyebrow pencils to use this technique. Just use the darker one at the end and the lighter one in the beginning. I don't think this is new to anybody though, but it's just a tip that I wanted to throw out there. So I'm just filling in her brows right now. As you can see, I'm going in the front with espresso, and I'm just doing her brows very, very lightly because this is a soft glam look. So I don't want the brows to be too bold or too dark or anything like that. So once I have those brows popping and filled in, next thing I'm gonna do is conceal them and give them a little bit more oomph, you know. But I like to use a lighter concealer on the tail of the brow just to make it pop more. Honestly, majority on the whole brow. I ain't gonna lie. I like to really make the brows pop just because I know once I go in with all the other concealers and the powders and everything like that, it sort of gets lost sometimes, especially with the eyeshadow. So I like to use a very light concealer. The concealers I'm using, I don't remember the shades, but I know that they are the e.l.f. Camo Concealers and the Tarte Shape Tape. Just another tip when doing brows, just make sure you do take your time when you're carving them out. You want them to be really clean, really precise, because the brows are like the focal point of the whole look. That's the first thing a person's going to see when they look at your makeup is your brows. So take your time when you're doing your brows. Don't rush this part at all. And another thing, when I cleaned the top of her brow, I forgot to film that part. I mean, I didn't forget to film it. I had to take it out because I was completely covering the whole camera and you could not see when I was cleaning the top. So before I clean the top of the brow, I like to go in first and blend out the concealer that I put on the bottom of the brow, just because the e.l.f. concealer kind of dries a little bit fast, even though it's mixed with the Tarte Shape Tape, which is kind of hydrating. I just like to, I don't like to take chances. So I don't want it to be like dry or anything or harder to blend. Also, when I'm blending the bottom, I'm not dragging it down over the whole lid. I like to save that space for when I apply my eyeshadow base. Once the brows are done, I'm just going to set them with this brow gel that I received in the Ipsy package. You can honestly use any brow gel of your choice, whatever works for you or whatever you like. I just like to set the brows just so they don't move throughout the day or anything like that, like the little hairs and everything. Next thing I'm doing is applying my eyeshadow base, and I'm using the P. Louise base. I think it's the Rumor shade 0, the whitest shade. I'm using that shade, and I'm just applying that to the lid with the flat brush on the space that I left open. And I'm just gonna blend that in until it's completely smooth. You wanna make sure you really blend this out and as smooth as possible so you can have the best application. And I'm just using a Real Techniques brush to do so. Once I have that blended out to my liking, I just use that same Dermablend powder that we used in the beginning for the brows. And I just use that to set the lid. This choice is optional. You could wait until it dries and get tacky. But I just set it with the powder just to play safe. I hate creasing on any type of look. So I just don't want to take that chance. So the first thing I'm going to do is start to apply my crease shade. I'm just using the dark brown from the Warrior 2 palette by Juvias Place on a Morphe brush. And as you can see, I kind of like put dots, like connect the dots when I first applied it. That is just so I can, line the shape that I want the crease to go. And it just helps you map it out, and it makes it easier once you apply the rest of the shadow, so you don't make a mistake. And because when you do apply a darker shade, it's kind of hard to correct without having to completely start all the way over. As you can see, I did the same thing on the other eye, and right now I'm just building up that dark brown shade until I get it to the point where I like it. Once I get my crease shade to my liking, I go in with a clean Morphe brush, a more fluffier brush than the other one that was more dense. I went in with this brush just to buff it out, just to give it that soft glam look that we're going for. With soft glam, it does involve a lot of blending, like tons of blending, just to give you that really, really soft look that you're going for. So with soft glams, you really just have to be patient and take your time. Next thing I'm doing, I'm going in with this, I don't even know what type of brush this is, y'all. Like, it's like a packer brush. But I'm just going in with this brush to apply the P. Louise base, just so I can start my soft cut crease. And the soft cut crease is basically like a regular cut crease, but it's soft. It's not as harsh and defined as a regular cut crease is. So I'm just building up this product, creating the shape that I want. This does take some time, just to get it even, just to make sure you don't go too far up, too far out. Just take your time. Makeup, with anything, you have to take your time. With makeup, like everything, you have to take your time with. Once I have my crease the shape I want it to be, I'm just going in with a softer brown that's in the Warrior 2 palette by Juvias Place. I'm going in with that on another Morphe brush and just softening out the edges a little bit. We want to keep this soft. Like, we don't want any harsh lines, anything like that. Next thing I did, I started to pack on my nude color that I wanted on the crease. But then, y'all, I kind of realized, like, it was a little bit too orange-y tone, peachy. It was like peachy. Too peachy for this look. I wanted this to be more like a nude kind of look. So I did end up going in with the white shade from the Warrior 2 palette. Y'all, this is basically like a whole look using the Warrior 2 palette. But I went in with the white shade from the Warrior 2 palette over that just to, lighten it up a little bit and give me that nude effect that I want. The next thing I'm doing is just taking my NYX liner. I love this liner because the tip of it, the brush, the applicator is like real thin, like it's real thin, and I love it so much. I actually used to like the Sephora liquid liner, but this one, the applicator just, it took over for me. But I'm just doing like a basic little liner, little medium thick liner. I'm not gonna do a wing at all though. But now that I look back at it, I kind of wish I did a wing though. It would have just brought the whole look together. Now we're finally getting into skin, guys. So for my foundation, I'm using a Maybelline Fit Me. I believe I use the shades Nutmeg and Deep Golden with like a little mocha. I don't remember, but I mixed like a bunch of shades together. Not a bunch, but a couple, just to get like her complexion. And I'm applying it first using this flat brush from Morphe. I'd like to do this just so I don't use too much product. So I feel like if I just spread it out evenly first and then just go and blend it in, it just helps me to avoid like using excessive product. Okay, so now to blend out her foundation, I'm using the Instapop face brush by Real Techniques. I like this brush because it's very dense and it's real big, so it gets the job done really fast, and it just leaves the skin looking flawless on top of a proper skincare routine as well. As you can see, it just looks flawless on top of that Bobbi Brown face cream. Next thing I'm doing is contouring her nose using the LC brush with the Anastasia cream contour palette using the shade Deep, I believe that's it. But I'm just gonna sculpt out her nose to the shape I want it to be, or honestly the natural shape that it, like the bridge really is. I used the beginning of her brow as a guide to where I want it to start, where I want it to end, and I just really go from there, and I blend it into the dark brown shadow that we used for our crease, so everything just kind of like blends together seamlessly. Now I'm beginning to conceal. So to conceal and highlight, first I'm going to conceal first using a concealer that's closer to her foundation shade, and then after that I did brighten it up just a little bit with a lighter concealer that's about 3 shades lighter than her skin tone. I think I used the same concealer that I used actually for her arch on her brow. And after that, I went in with the Urban Decay enhancer in the shade White, just to really brighten up that under eye. I love a bright under eye. It just makes your face and your eyes and everything just stand out even more. Now I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge and start to blend out that concealer. Start with the chin first, then I go to the forehead. I let the bridge of the nose sit, and I let the eyes sit the longest, just because I want those to be my real standout points. So the longer you let your concealer sit, the more coverage you get, and the more flawless and smooth your base looks. Once I have my concealer blended out, I'm just retouching my nose up a little bit, just from it getting lost in the concealer, and just, fixing it up. To set her under eyes and the rest of her face, I'm using the Mercier Deep, I believe, face powder, mixed with the Sacha Buttercup powder. I just mix those two together just to give like the perfect shade, just to set on her eyes and still give it some brightness. And it looked flawless. It was flawless. It's a flawless combination. I'm just packing that with the sponge under her under eye. I'm gonna put it in her on the center of her forehead and on her her chin. I wish, now that I'm looking back at it, I forgot to bake the bridge of her nose so it just looks more smoother like the rest of the face. Yeah, I forgot. I don't know how I forgot, but I forgot. As you guys noticed, I didn't cream contour with this look. I don't cream contour often, so you'll notice that over a while that You don't see me cream contour a lot. I might try to break back into it, but I really don't do it that much. So I'm just taking the Fenty Cocoa Naughty bronzer and just using this as a contour, you know, that deep shade, just to sculpt out her face, give it some definition, and bring some life back from the powder and the concealer and the foundations and everything. ATL Jacob. Using the brown shade out of the Juvias Place Zulu palette, I'm going to take the dark brown shade that's in there to bronze her face, because that shadow actually has like a orange undertone to it, and it's really warm, and I like what it does on brown skin girls or chocolate skin girls. It really looks amazing. It really makes their face look very warm and pleasing. Next, I'm just going in with the blush out of my Morphe bronzer palette. I'm using that, it's like a rosy pink shade in there. Then I also went back into the Warrior 2 palette and took that soft rose pink and went on top with that as well, just to, you know. So now I'm taking the NYX Jumbo Pencil, the white one, and I'm just applying that in her waterline. As you can see, I'm just doing this just to open her eyes up a little bit more and get a base for my glitter that I'm going to apply later on. Now I'm using my duo glue just to prep for the glitter that I'm going to apply. I love this glue. It's like an everything glue for me. I love it for when I do it on the lid for glitters, under the eye for glitter, and mainly, of course, for lashes. Now I'm applying my glitters. I mixed together this white glitter that I had. It's like a small chunky white glitter with a little pink chunky glitter, just to give y'all, I'm extra. I don't know why. I don't even know how to explain half the stuff I say, but just to dazzle it up a little bit, you know. But I like how glitter looks on the bottom lash line. It's just something about it, y'all. It just gives I don't even know. You'll see. I took this powder brush from Morphe and just removing that excess glitter that fell on the face, and it just sweeps away so perfectly. That's how you know when you have a good base, when your glitter can just glide off like that. Now we're just gonna go in and highlight her face. Like I said, this is a soft glam, so I'm keeping everything real soft. I went in with a really, really soft highlighter. You could barely see it on camera. That's how soft it is. I'm just applying that to the apples of her cheek, the center of her forehead, her cupid's bow, and her chin. Last but not least, we're gonna finally do her lips, and I'm using that same contour. I'm using that same contour shade that I used to sculpt out her nose, and I'm just using that to outline her lips. I'm just gonna do a basic pinkish nude lip. Now I'm applying the gloss. I'm using the Milani gloss in the shade Lavish, mixed with a little bit of the P. Louise Rumor Base Zero. I like the consistency that the P. Louise base has mixed with the gloss, and it helps it last way longer, and it just looks nice, and it also helps to brighten up any color, gloss, or anything like that you use. Now I'm just setting her face with the Morphe Luminous Setting Mist. I love this mist. It's gorgeous. Then I also went in with the Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, just to lock her face in. The heat's been real disrespectful lately, y'all. It's been real rude and real violent, and we ain't got time for no faces to be slipping. Now I'm just removing her hair, y'all. Look at her reaction. She love it, period. This is what we love to see. I love to see the girls smiling. I love to see the girls happy, and I love to see the girls feeling pretty. This is why I do what I do. And here's the finished look, y'all. She looks amazing. She looks stunning. She's giving soft glam, y'all. And I'm here for it. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe to my channel and follow me on all social media where I post on a regular. If you don't want to miss a beat, follow me. And until next time, bye, y'all.